Outstanding. Good to see you, sir. It's always a joy and honor to get to see you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. What are you up to this morning?
I just came by to drop in and see what the podcast was about.
Most definitely.
See how it's going this morning.
Oh, man, it's going great. We're having a good time. This morning's focus has been about being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And this is Entrepreneur Week, and so we're real excited about that. And for those that are watching, that they might not be an entrepreneur, we're going to share with them the life of an entrepreneur, someone who's able to go out there and make 10, 20 times more than employees do.
Right.
Entrepreneurs are people that get tax breaks instead of paying taxes. So it sounds very interesting, right?
Absolutely.
And then you get this big title that's real long, and some people know how to spell it and others don't, but man, it sounds great. So tell us what's on your mind this morning, Eddie.
Well, I'm an amateur photographer, and I'm thinking about starting my own business. You may remember that I've shot a lot of photos of the tea parties recently since their inception in February, and I've been trying to concentrate a lot on doing that in Brazoria County. But I want to start my own business because I take so many pictures that I have people interested in them, and actually one person connect with me to set up a website so that they can link to a site where I post photos so that people can purchase them. To be upfront, I have no formal training, but for whatever reason, people seem really interested in the photography that I do.
There you go. Well, I tell you what, I've seen your camera. It's very nice.
Yes, I have a Nikon D90, which I just got a few months ago, and I picked it up before the event in Washington, D.C., the 9/12 event, which thank goodness I was able to attend.
Okay.
And trust me, I did put it to use then. It allowed me to take not only photos, because it has better resolution than the last one I had, but it also allows me to record an HD video. So
okay.
It's two-in-one deal for me, and definitely that video function was a plus in D.C.
Wow, well that's awesome. We know the old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Absolutely.
And it's really neat that you can get so much out of one picture frame.
Yes.
And that right there is priceless.
Yes.
And so if people want to get a hold of you to where they say, hey, you know what, here's a guy who's starting a business. He has a very nice camera. He takes very good pictures. How can people get in touch with you?
Well, I am on Facebook.
Okay.
You can find me on Facebook. My name is Eddie Gallegos, Gallegos, or they can email me, egallegos5@comcast.net.
Okay, that is awesome. Now, what kind of pictures do you enjoy taking? And if someone wanted to give you a call and they say, hey, this is a need that I have, what are you interested in shooting?
I would like to try to start off with simple things such as maybe social gatherings, parties, things of that nature.
Most definitely.
I got my feet wet doing traveling with my wife. We used to do a lot of traveling, and so still photography, landscape photography is what I used to do.
Okay.
And then, of course, here recently, since almost the beginning of this year, got heavily involved with political events. But that also allowed me to capture moments that one may have seen, but with so many things being fluid at one time, may have been a memory in passing. And
sure.
What I try to do is I try to capture those events such that they're not staged. I don't ask people to pose, but capture them so that people can remember what it is that they attended, what it is that they felt at that particular moment. And not to be boisterous, but it seems to be that I've gotten a lot of feedback in that respect with some of the photos that I've taken. And they've been very memorable, that they've been very emotional at sometimes with some of the photography that I've done.
Most definitely. Okay, well that's neat. Well, I'll tell you what, I met a photographer a few weeks ago at a art show here in Houston, and he said something that was very profound that just stuck with me, that he said, I'm a photographer, but I do not take pictures of people. And I asked him, I said, why don't you take pictures of people? He said, people are difficult. He says, I choose to take pictures of buildings and landscapes. He says, I can always work around them. Right. I don't have to tell them to move, do this, do that. He said, I can always go around them completely. And it just made a lot of sense. He said, man, structures are so much easier to work with than people. And I never really thought about it, but as a photographer, he's like, hey, this is what I enjoy doing, taking pictures of structures.
I have to agree because they're static. They're not going to move. They're not going to say, okay, well, I didn't like that picture. Let's try to take another one.
They don't have any opinions, do they?
No, they don't. And again, that's why I don't ask people to pose, is because I want to capture a flash in a pan, so to speak, a moment in time without them realizing it. And very few times have I ever had people shy from the camera. But even more surprisingly, I've had very few people want to pose. And again, I don't ask people to pose for me because I want them to be natural in what it is that they're doing. And that's what I appreciate doing. That's the joy I get out of the photography that I do.
All right, well, that is awesome. Well, earlier in the show, we talked about having passion. And if you do what makes you passionate, you'll never work a day in your life. And so why are you passionate about photography?
Because for me personally, it gives me some escape. It gives me some relief from the humdrum of everyday life. When we travel, my wife used to get on me because I'm not a big souvenir collector.
Okay.
I like to collect memories through my photography, and when I would sit in a cubicle and it would get monotonous and sometimes irritating during the day, I would have myself surrounded by the photos that I have taken over the years, and it would allow me to remember, oh, this is what I felt when I was here, this is what I felt when I was there, or this is the only shot of this particular scene I took, and that was the only one that I was able to get because 2 seconds later the scenery changed, or clouds covered up and there was no more natural light for me to capture. So that's what I enjoy about it, is being able to see the work that I've done and look at it and say, wow, this really is amazing that we were here, or that we have seen this.
There you go, most definitely. Well, pictures are definitely something to be remembered. I really enjoy getting to look at pictures myself, and it does bring up those feelings that you had at that time. And we forget so easily, and pictures are a good reminder for us. I have several pictures that get taken of me every single week, and it's just an obscene amount of pictures being out there on the campaign trail.
Right.
And it's all a big blur. And so it's exciting for me, especially when I get on my Facebook account and say, okay, wow, well, here's well over 1,000 pictures I can just go look at and say, oh my gosh, I forgot about this, I forgot about that, man, I met this person. And because there's just so many people that I meet, and it really does bring a lot of joy to me being able to look at those pictures.
Right.
Especially maybe even if I've had a challenging day, it brings joy to me to be able to look at those pictures. And so pictures are very important. That's why we take them, as well as that's why pictures get passed down throughout time.
Yes, they do.
All right. Well, how can people get in touch with you again?
You can connect with me on Facebook. Again, my name is Eddie Gallegos, Gallegos, or my email address is egallegos5@comcast.net.
All right. Well, we've enjoyed getting to have you on the show this morning. It's always a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Tim.
All right.
Well, don't you love entrepreneurs just starting with ideas, something they're passionate about, Tex, and that's
Most
exactly
definitely.
what we're doing here this week. There's a lot of people that will be showing up for Entrepreneurship Week to learn how to expand their business or grow their business. There's going to be a lot of entrepreneurs that are going to be here that will provide great mentorship to you, great educational opportunities right here at Coffee Grounds this Thursday, November the 19th, between 2 and 4 p.m.
Most definitely.
And you got some great events coming up too, so we want to make sure that we continue to follow Tex Christopher on his Twitter account at Texan, Texin 2010. You can follow me at Twitter at The Hub Market. That's The Hub Market. All right. Well, let's talk some more about